talking about the health effects that are associated with the Martin County water crisis. But before I get into it, I want to provide you with a little bit of background information. Martin County has been dealing with troubled water for decades. According to the magazine Mother Jones, it all began back in the mid-20th century when the pipelines were first built. These pipelines were built cheap and poorly, and over time it caused the pipes to develop cracks and leaks. On top of that, a coal waste lagoon broke in Martin County in the year 2000. When this broke, it caused millions of gallons of toxic waste to poison Martin County's water supply, and unfortunately, this was the start of the crisis. The combination of the faulty pipes and the broken coal waste lagoon caused dangerous metals like arsenic, mercury, and lead to clog up the pipes. According to the lawyer, Mary Cromer, residents' tap water came out brown or milky. After a few months passed, residents then stated that their water smelled like diesel fuel. Based on these descriptions, it is safe to say that Martin County's water is dangerous. And with that being said, many serious health problems began to arise. To help you get a better idea on how bad Martin County's water is, here are just a few examples of water that residents were getting from their tap water. Now, take a second to think about if this was your water. I want you to put yourself in their shoes and consider how this would affect your life. What if you were being forced to pay your monthly water bills, yet this was the water you were supposed to drink, bathe in, and cook with? Not only does the water look unsafe, but it actually is contaminated with toxic metals that can affect our human health. Stated by the Centers for Disease Control and Protection, people may face gastrointestinal illnesses, reproductive problems, and neurological disorders. You'd be surprised with the extreme measures some people have to take in order to avoid exposing themselves to toxins. For example, written in a CNN News report, a woman named Hope Workman has gotten clean water from a small well on the side of a mountain in Lovely, Kentucky for the past 20 years. Lovely, Kentucky is an unincorporated community located in Martin County. Workman stated that she will either drive up to the path in an ATV or take her four-wheel drive truck. According to the news report, it takes her about 7 minutes to get to her destination on the mountain. She also has 2 daughters in which she would do anything for. In order to keep her family safe, this is the extreme task that she has to take in order to get clean water. Although contaminated water can be harmful to everyone, this has the most impact on infants, the elderly, and pregnant women. According to researchers from the U.S. Library of Medicine, exposure to arsenic from water can affect brain and health development in babies and young children. The U.S. National Library of Medicine recently conducted an experiment between pregnant mothers and their babies. The researchers studied 2 categories. The first category consisted of chemical contaminants such as arsenic, iron, lead, copper, and many others. The other category focused more on bacterial contaminants like fecal matter. The goal of this experiment was to find if exposure to certain contaminants affect infants' birth weight and if they were preterm or not. In conclusion, there were distinct differences in data between women who lived in areas that have violations toward their water districts. Not only is this a major concern, but prolonged exposure to arsenic was found to be linked to cancer, skin conditions due to toxic absorption, and even something as serious as seizures. Here is an example of what can happen to your skin if you drink water that has an unsafe amount of arsenic in it. Health problems are a real concern when it comes to contaminated water. People of all ages are at risk, but we especially have to look out for the young, the old, and pregnant women. Although this might just seem like a problem for the residents living in Martin County, Kentucky, it is actually a lot more common than people expect it to be. Many people associate water insecurity and water scarcity with impoverished countries. However, this is in fact a worldwide problem. Water insecurity refers to the lack of clean, safe, drinkable water, and water scarcity is a lack of water demand in general. Although there might be countries out there that are struggling with these issues more than the United States, that does not mean that the U.S. isn't a concern as well. Billions of people all around the world are being affected by this same problem. Martin County, Kentucky is just one of the many different locations in the United States that is dealing with this crisis. According to a graph provided by DHS World Geography, roughly 1.8 billion people drink water from a contaminated source. Contamination could relate to a number of things such as toxins, chemicals, fecal matter, pesticides, and even more. It is important to take this information into consideration because this is a lot of people, and we do not want the situation to get even worse.